Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, yet somehow still falling behind? You wake up earlier than everyone else, you stay later than everyone else, you sacrifice weekends, sleep, even your peace of mind. But when promotions come, someone else gets them. When success shows up, it skips your door.
And you're left thinking, how is everyone winning while I'm exhausted? If that sounds familiar, this story will change the way you work forever. Because once, there was a man who nearly destroyed his life by working too hard, until one moment taught him the difference between effort and strategy. Stay with me. In a quiet agricultural valley lived a 33-year-old man named Daniel Carter. Daniel inherited a small 10-acre farm from his father, nothing fancy, but enough to build a future. And Daniel believed one thing with absolute certainty. If you work harder than everyone else, success has no choice but to follow. Every morning, Daniel woke at 4 a.m., long before sunrise. While the village slept, he was already in the fields. He planted every seed by hand, carried water bucket by bucket, pulled weeds until his fingers bled.
He refused modern tools. "My father did it this way. My grandfather did it this way," he'd say. "Hard work is honest work." By sunset, Daniel's shirt was soaked with sweat. His back screamed in pain. His hands were cracked and swollen. At night, he collapsed into bed, too tired to eat properly, too tired to speak. His wife Emily would sit beside him and whisper, "Daniel, this isn't living. You're disappearing." But Daniel only shook his head. "Success requires sacrifice. I just need to push harder."
Next to Daniel's farm lived another man, Lucas Reed. Same age, same size land, started with even less money. But Lucas worked from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., 6 hours. He used irrigation systems, focused on only 2 high-yield crops, spent evenings reading, resting, spending time with family. And somehow, Lucas's farm produced nearly double what Daniel's did. That fact ate Daniel alive. How can someone work half as much and get twice the results?
Then came the drought. Water grew scarce. Crops began dying. Daniel responded the only way he knew how. He worked harder. He woke at 3 a.m., made 50 trips a day carrying water from a distant well. His body begged him to stop, but his mind repeated one sentence: hard work never fails. On the 15th day, Daniel was carrying another heavy bucket when his vision blurred. His legs collapsed.
The bucket fell, water soaking uselessly into the dust. Emily found him on his knees between dying crops, barely conscious. At the hospital, the doctor spoke without hesitation. "Mr. Carter, your body is shutting down. Another month like this and you won't make it to next harvest." That night, lying in a hospital bed, Daniel felt something new. Not exhaustion, not anger.
Defeat. "I did everything right," he whispered. "I worked harder than anyone. Why am I still failing?" Emily held his hand. "Maybe," she said softly, "hard work isn't the whole answer."
3 days later, Daniel did something his pride had avoided for years. He knocked on Lucas's door. Lucas welcomed him in warmly. They sat on the porch overlooking green, thriving fields. Daniel stared for a long moment before speaking. "I don't understand," he said quietly. "I work twice your hours, but you're winning." Lucas stood up. "Come with me." He led Daniel to the tool shed and pulled out 2 axes. One was old and dull, the other sharp and polished.
"Try this one," Lucas said, handing Daniel the dull axe. Daniel swung. The blade barely scratched the log. 10 swings later, nothing. Lucas picked up the sharp axe. 3 swings, the log split clean in half. Lucas looked at him and said, "You've been swinging a dull axe for years." Daniel froze. "Some people believe effort is everything," Lucas continued. "But effort without strategy is just suffering."
Lucas explained 3 principles. 1. Systems beat effort. "You carry water for 6 hours," Lucas said.
My irrigation system does it in 20 minutes. Effort repeats work. Systems multiply it. 2. Focus beats hustle. You grow 5 crops, Lucas said. I grow 2 and master them. Trying to do everything creates mediocrity. Doing fewer things well creates excellence.
3. Rest is not laziness, it's leverage. A tired mind makes bad decisions, Lucas said. A rested mind sees opportunities. Then he said the words Daniel would never forget. Hard work is powerful, but hard work without thinking will destroy you.
Daniel went home different. The next morning, he didn't rush to the fields. He sat with Emily and a notebook. For the first time, he planned. Within 2 weeks, he installed a simple irrigation system. Water time dropped from 6 hours to 20 minutes. He reduced his crops to 2 profitable ones. He hired part-time help during peak season, and something unexpected happened.
Daniel had energy again. He laughed again. He slept. He thought clearly. 6 months later, harvest season arrived. His yield increased 40%, the best year of his life. Not because he worked harder, because every hour finally mattered. Lucas visited and smiled. You sharpened your axe.
This story isn't about farming. It's about you. If you believe exhaustion equals progress, if you think burnout proves dedication, if you're grinding non-stop with nothing to show, hear this clearly. Hard work is necessary, but hard work alone is not enough. Before you work harder, ask, is there a system I can build? A tool I can use? A task I can eliminate? A smarter way to do this? Because you were not built to run until you break. You were built to think. Stop swinging the dull axe. It's time to sharpen it.